Hello and good morning.
Good morning.
Another brand new episode, brand new week of your favorite, the most watched breakfast show on TV, I have to say. We would like to help you start this week on a very, very positive note.
That's correct, people. And I would like to start with an advice from a horse master.
Okay.
Now, this one says, go slow to go fast. And
Yeah.
hey, if you put that, it applies to every single thing.
Yeah.
And I should know that, by the way.
Go slow to go fast.
Go slow to go
Yeah,
fast.
the
Yeah,
biker
right.
thing. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. We'll talk a bit about that later. But as we live through things, you know, we realize that there's hardly ever enough hours in the day. But if we do everything calmly and carefully, we'll be amazed at how quick you get things done.
Yes, and which much less stress, as usual, like I like to tell people. Now, we hope that that's enough motivation to get your day started. So you're welcome. It's Wake Up Nigeria. I want to say how beautiful, by the way, Mary is looking today.
As
that
in
blue
it?
dress. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
she
you
wasn't
so
here
much.
on Friday when I told that we don't acknowledge how beautiful she always
Yeah,
looks.
she actually is a stunner. And yeah, don't worry, the ladies won't tell you.
Mazino, thank
Ladies
you
won't
so
tell you, but
much.
this
That's very nice
gentleman
of
will.
you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And it's ironic because I'm always telling every lady here.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mazino.
It's okay. So we have a very, very amazing week planned out for you guys, okay? So we know that you guys deserve it, so please do stay with us right here. This is Mrs. Titi Oyinsa, and my name is Mazino Appeal. So we ask that you guys stay tuned for the whole 3 hours breakfast television experience here. Please do.
Yes, so, and don't forget that we're streaming the show live at TVC entertainment.tv and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect. Now, if you want to send in a comment, contribution, prayer message, you know, to hail us, please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And by the way, you can also download our mobile app, and it's free of charge from any of the Android or iOS store. You can watch us on your mobile devices from anywhere in the world.
Yes,
Please
so
do that.
Highly recommended that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's also TVC Entertainment. All the videos from past episodes, all the things we're going to do today, everything is going to be right there so you can catch up.
Now, you can do that on Friday as well, by the
Yeah.
way, on IG Live. We're going to have somebody very special here like we did last week. We had Blackface on at 2:30 p.m., so make sure you make it a date here. In fact, stay the entire week. You guys are welcome
Yes, sir.
on Wake Up Nigeria.
Good morning,
Welcome, guys.
everybody.
Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, Monday morning.
Yes, indeed.
Weekend. So how's weekend for you guys? Weekend was explosive for me.
It's obvious. For my
Should I
family,
start?
been so interested in talking
Should I
about the
start?
weekend.
What happened?
Of course, it was all about football. It was all about football.
You should have known.
Exactly.
It
What
ended
else?
in premium tiers for a lot.
Premium, isn't it?
Premium.
But what are you?
Tiers.
I just want
For a
to
lot.
say.
Wow. I heard Mary on the radio talking
I
about
want
this, actually.
to say
Okay.
that Manchester at least one copy. You got that, right?
Okay, well, I did DJ copy, yeah? They did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Don't worry.
But I heard Mary talking about, you know, doing this thing. You do this thing on the radio where you say, how many strokes of cane do you want to be
That's
flowed?
radio
And then
classroom.
people kept calling out a particular team.
Yeah, it
Who
was
deserved a number of
Okay,
strokes.
that was Friday, of course. That,
Yeah.
that had to be Barcelona.
Barcelona.
It was decimation.
Oh my gosh.
You know, decimation, the word comes from, you know, when you go to battle, and what happens with the Romans is that when your men, when they mess up, you bring them back, and then you have this punishment for them. They pick up stones. And then the person who picks up the stone, or maybe a white stone, is in the middle, and the other ones put the stone in a sack and just continue. That's what happened to Barcelona.
Wow. Wow.
8-2. I heard about the
8-2,
goal.
man.
I heard about the score line, and I was like,
9 goals.
What?
They actually spelt Barcelona.
Wow.
But you know what? Just to save face, they decided to make the first goal Barcelona scored an own goal. So they dashed them down one. So it became 8-2. If not,
I know.
9-1.
I was very surprised that you can actually score 8 goals in a game, because that only happened when we.
Against the
It only
Barcelona
happened when we
was
were
shocking
kids
me.
and we're playing monkey post and stuff like
I
that.
tell you, this might seem like a joke, but I wish on mental health today we talk about, you see, football is something that really affects a lot of people. I know friends that got sick.
Oh wow!
Like there's people that could not talk, man.
You guys are always too serious about this whole football thing.
No, you don't
Like,
get some
guys
people
are
that
buying
like
our player, my people. As it were. Are they paying you guys money?
You don't understand. For a lot of people, so there's a period in my life where it was just steam off. So you just have a whole week and then just go on
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday to just go to a viewing center or something, just to shout and let steam over and
Yes,
true.
banter,
Yeah,
and you come back feeling good.
Yes.
So with that, it's, you know, you cannot measure how much that would.
But you know, I'm actually very sad for Barcelona. Things have been very unfortunate for them since COVID-19. Besides their club having issues. No, I'm not saying this to shade them. Because no, Barcelona is actually my second favorite. It's my favorite
Who's the first one?
Spanish club, Arsenal.
Okay.
Arsenal, like
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Gunners for life.
At least you're
Gunners
coming
for
up
life.
now.
Yes, so.
Yeah, so it hurts me, I won't lie. However, there have been serious issues going on in the club. And besides the issues going on in the club, there's also the issue of the players themselves. I think they're having issues, just like Mike mentioned. There's a mental health thing going on. Because since COVID-19 resumption, they've not been themselves.
I just think that so far you guys are beginning to see the effect of overpriced players.
Well,
Another
very
It happens during
Nice
this
angle.
period. During this period.
I just want to
Real
wrap this
Madrid
up by
are
saying
overpriced too.
I saw a meme where there were about 10 women pounding yam, and then the logo of Barcelona was right there, and they were pounding with all fury.
What wickedness.
It was a very interesting.
All right then. Well, very interesting weekend for all of you guys, I guess. For me, it was
Jim.
all about traffic. Couldn't get to my destination, had to turn around and come back to Lagos.
With your bike.
Yes. Don't travel on Saturdays from 9 o'clock. Just forget it. Just stay in Lagos.
Even with a bike.
Don't do it. It was
That's
terrible. It
serious,
was
man.
fatiguing. Anyhow, I think it's time for the news now. So let's let Mary do that one. It's going to be very interesting, I bet.
Okay. Now, investigation has commenced into the recent allegation of some airport officials in Abuja who collected money from returning passengers on evacuation flights. This development was confirmed by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, which advises passengers to report any official from any agency that requests money under any guise. In a statement released today, the spokesperson of the agency, Henrietta Yakubu, said there is no aspect of its services at the airport that is being paid for in cash. According to her, arriving passengers are expected to have conducted COVID-19 tests before boarding their flights. Therefore, they should not pay any money to any airport official. I believe that was said yesterday. Apologies. Now, moving on, another set of Nigerian girls have been evacuated from Lebanon after a viral video showing them pleading for the federal government to facilitate their return. Now, according to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the 68 girls arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja via Middle East Airline. The agency thanked the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, the Nigerian mission in that country, and the Lebanese community for making the evacuation possible. The girls will proceed on a 14-day isolation as mandated by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. To Oyo State now, where the suspected mastermind of the recent killings in Akinyele local government area has escaped from police custody. Now, this development comes after the 19-year-old boy and 2 others were arrested and paraded on the 17th of July. In a press statement, the Commissioner of Police, Joe Enwawu, warned against jungle justice if any resident comes into contact with the suspect. He assured that adequate security measures have been put in place to keep the peace, asking criminal elements to steer clear of Oyo State. The Kano State Police Command has rescued another man imprisoned by his parents for 15 years in Sheka Ngowa Fulani of Kumbutso local government area. The 35-year-old victim, Ibrahim Lawan, was rescued by the police medical team and operatives of Operation Puff Adder. Police Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Kiyawa, who confirmed the incident to TVC News, says Mr. Lawan has been moved to a medical facility in Kano State. This rescue operation comes just 2 days after a 30-year-old man, Ahmed Aminu, was set free from confinement by the police. The police say investigation has been launched and more details will be revealed as soon as completed. Now, as part of preparations towards the upcoming elections in Edo and Ondo states, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered commissioners in all states and the Federal Capital Territory to identify and arrest any individual or groups in possession of prohibited firearms. In a statement, Force Public Relations Officer Frank Mba said the move is necessary due to the deliberate arming and movement of political thugs and other criminal elements across the country. Commissioners of police have also been directed to convene an enlightenment meeting of all vigilance groups and security outfits to ensure that the activities conform with laws guiding their establishments and operations. Talking about Pengassan now, news says the leadership of oil workers in Nigeria says its members will not be shutting down activities in the industry as planned for midnight today. This follows the intervention of the Ministers of Finance and Labor along with the Minister of State Petroleum Resources. A closed-door meeting has been slated for 11 a.m. between the federal government team and the leadership of New Peng and Pengassan at the finance headquarters in Abuja on Monday. One of the national leaders of the union says members will be appropriately directed after the meeting. TVC News will be tracking the story as it unfolds. And that's it on the news updates for this hour. Thank you very much, Mike. I think you should start.
Yeah, so we have quite a few headlines in the papers every morning. The papers haven't arrived yet, but we have the online version of the headlines for you. I'm starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. And today is the 17th of August, and it's Monday. Ondo Deputy Governor picks Mimiko's ex-aide as running mate. On forex restriction, maize imports to Gulp 28.31 billion naira. Manufactured processed foods not good for children, according to nutritionists. Colon cancer and its management, that's also another story you can find in the Punch this morning. Meanwhile, Kano residents treating COVID-19 protocols with disdain, according to Ganduje. It says, use governorship poll to end godfatherism in Edo, according to Obaseki. Increase health budget, CSOs tell Gombe government. And 6 power plants shut in 35 hours, generation slumps. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
So the Nation newspaper is what I have now. And it says, IGP orders clamp down on proliferation of arms. Ngige's kinsman disowns suspended monarch. Pandemic attracting more forex traders. I don't know whether to be worried about that, though. Here we see also Osun fumigates over 1,800 schools, others. Lagos extends market hours. That should make many happy. So is leeway here? That's a question in an article. As recoveries surpass new infections. Great news if you ask me. And tax relief, federal government, World Bank plan $2.5 million grants for each state. Nigeria Air Force deploys 32 special forces in southern Kaduna. Minister mourns ex-Kwara Deputy Speaker Ayodele Shitu. Presidency to Naaba, leave Buhari out of your issue. Worship centers observe protocols in Ogun, Ekiti. And finally, CBN stress test clears banks. So
it seems like the papers have just arrived. If one of the team can hand it over, I'll get the papers from there. So we've taken the Punch and we've taken the Nation newspaper.
So you might want to start with the Vanguard newspaper.
No, let's see what we can get.
Mazino is doing the honors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, right.
All right, so let's skip
the Punch and the Nation. Almost as if they planned it for us.
Exactly. Okay, so I'll take the Guardian newspaper now.
That's fine.
And it says Nigeria in tough policy options over recession. Economy caves in as COVID-19 reveals old landmines. Labor, NECA, others fault unemployment report, spend out stagnation. Economists advise government, we must avoid looming depression. Now the story is quite a long one. Steph on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Fresh concerns over NDDC crisis, planned 24 billion naira road inauguration by Buhari. Unions threaten shutdown over proposed airport concession. How oil theft fuels proliferation of arms in Niger Delta by report. And of course, it also says calls for Le Court's execution will set Nigeria ablaze, say Khan and others. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
The Daily Sun newspaper is what I have now, and it says, insecurity, IGP orders Commissioner of Police to mop illegal weapons, directs Edo Ondo commands to crack down on thugs, Oyo Commissioner of Police confirms escape of prime suspect of Ibadan ritual killings from custody. Backing Igbo to produce next president will right past wrongs, and that's coming from Fani Kayode. Banks lending to oil gas industry suffers $3 billion decline. Federal government insists on 5.3 billion naira loan, billion dollars rather, loan from China for Ibadan Kano Rail project. Amechi appears before reps today. NAF deploys special force to southern Kaduna. We've had enough of killings, and that's coming from Archbishop Keigama. We won't allow misrepresentation of Zeke's parentage. That's coming from a former police chief. Photo stories here showing another set of Nigerian girls from Lebanon on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport just yesterday. 296 evacuees from UK via Air Peace flight on arrival, also at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. And here showing some palliatives being distributed. And finally, IPOB peace deal with Ohanaeze intact. These stories and more in the Daily Sun newspaper today.
I think we still have time for this day newspaper. It says here, arming regional security outfits, vigilantes inimical to national safety. IG warns. Orders clamp down on prohibited firearms, and of course groups rally support for NABA over DSS invitation. Meanwhile, Unilag Council gives details of Ogundipe's alleged financial misdemeanor. Amended Universities Act grants Council power to remove Vice Chancellor. It also says here, Buhari, Lawan, Jonathan, Atiku felicitate with Babangida at age 79. CBN BDCs to get dollars on resumption of international flights. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 9. That's the Bureau de Change operators. That's when international flights resume once again. They must have taken quite a hit during this period. States offer tax relief to individuals, businesses. Page 8 has more on that. And that's how we wrap it up on the cover of this day.
Okay, I don't think we have enough time to take one more paper.
So,
Do we?
I took the Vanguard earlier.
Yeah. So I don't think we have.
But a story I didn't take was this one. It says on Southern Kaduna, I'm not afraid of death. According to Lekwot, page 5 has more on that one. Change approach. Archbishop Kaigama urges federal government. Buhari yet to tackle insecurity in Northeast, says Borno Royal Father. Quite a lot on the covers of the papers today. So many different stories. We'll be taking them again in the second hour.
Yeah. All right, so it's time for Lagos traffic updates on Wake Up Nigeria. Now, of course, you know you have to be extremely careful with how you manage your movement, which is why we're here to ensure that you get to your intended destination on time, safe and sound, by giving you the best routes to go through. Okay, so we're going to start off this morning with the Ojodu-Beja to CMS garage access. And I'm pleased to inform you that if you're driving, not a biker like Mazino though, but if you're driving like a regular vehicle, you ought to get to CMS garage from Ojodu-Beja bus stop in less than 40 minutes this morning. Exciting, right? So as it is, Ojodu, barely any traffic, just light traffic at the bus stop. But as soon as you're past it, it's a freeway, even through motorways. Like, you know, motorways sometimes can get congested. No traffic at all. It's actually quite free. However, as soon as you are, at the middle of the bridge, the Ojota Bridge, that is where you would start experiencing light traffic. And that traffic will take you all the way till you're almost at Ogudu. Yeah. So just after the Alakwere police station is when the traffic will ease out to freeway. And it actually continues that way, really smooth drive until you are approaching Ogudu Market itself. Yes, that's where that Agboyi Road connects to the expressway. Yes, that's where you would start experiencing light traffic. But it's only for a short while. The freeway again, and then another light traffic till you get to Oru. Now, that's after you pass Oru bus stop. It's a freeway. And believe it or not, The third mainland bridge is good to go right now, so you do just fine. In fact, there won't be any traffic until you're just about to get off the bridge. So there you would experience light traffic, freeway, then light traffic till you get off the bridge. Off the bridge is where you would experience a gridlock, okay? So prepare your mind for that. But the gridlock is a short one. It's just going to last for a few minutes, and then light traffic and then a freeway until you get to CMS Garage. So the traffic situation is actually quite good for you this morning if you're coming from Ojodubeja heading towards CMS Garage. Now, I'm pretty sure the guys have your updates to share with me. So let me find out. What do you guys have?
You were.
So we exist. I thought you had it all covered. Okay.
How are you sure, man?
I have a tweet. But it's sort of kind of follows what you were saying earlier. Now, about 30 minutes ago, it says Yano we're ascending a third mainland bridge towards Adekunle en route. Adeniji is moving very fast despite the morning influx of vehicles moving onto the bridge. Yeah, it's seemingly home free.
Very quick one. If you're heading towards Ojota, there's a huge truck that's been there for over a week. It's causing plenty of traffic. And if you're trying to get on the Ikorodu Road after that, the turning to get on the Ikorodu Road has been blocked. So you'll have to get into K2 to rigmarole your way around before getting on the expressway heading to Ibadan. So just take note, extra time, you're going to need that. So be prepared when you hit the road today.
All right.
So that's it. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those updates. So
You're
I'm just going to
welcome.
round it off with this. For those coming from Abule Egba bus stop, heading to Mushin bus stop, if you're going to pass the Abeokuta Expressway, prepare your mind for an hour, 45 minutes drive this morning. There's a lot of traffic on that axis. Of course, there are alternative routes. If you pass through the Agege routes, you will definitely save yourself about 15 minutes, okay? And of course, it gets shorter if you decide to go all the way through Ogba side. But that's like a long journey. But then it depends on you and if you're in such a hurry. I will be joining the guys in the kitchen right now. However, I need you to keep something in mind. You need to drive carefully. And of course, not just observe traffic regulations, but have consideration for other road users.
All righty. Now, as Mary makes her way to the kitchen, let me just say, you know, whenever we're doing this traffic thing, it's like, I feel like, man, just thank God we're in the studio right now, when we don't have to think of figuring out which route to take.
The perks of resuming early for work. No traffic.
Well, hey. So Mazino was chatting with some of us over the weekend about an experience he had with his wife or so.
Let me tell it. So Sunday mornings, we often have this thing where we're all in the kitchen together, me, myself, and my wife and my daughter. So So yesterday while she was getting breakfast ready, she had taken a couple of hot dogs from the freezer and they were ice cold, they were frozen. And she dumped them into some hot oil. I was sitting on the kitchen counter right next to the stove. And then you know what happens when you put, it starts to sizzle and leaps and stuff like that. And then there I was yelling my head, ah! And my wife.
Why don't we have a video of this?
I wish there was a video.
So that we know you always put video.
But it was
for coverages,
hilarious.
so
It was so hilarious because I was shouting. And then my wife jumps in between me and the cooker to protect me from the leaping oil. And I thought to myself, how much of a coward men are in the kitchen.
No. You took it out of my mouth, so I need not say anything else.
Speak for yourself.
She put her body.
Some of us are colossal.
Yeah.
No, she put her body in the line of fire, and I'm like, are you guys impervious to hot oil or something like that, or are you just used to it?
I think she just loves you.
Wow.
There are some women that will probably stand back and be like, is it not oil? is it not your food I'm cooking? I think she actually just really genuinely loves it. You stand in front of oil.
Women who don't do it doesn't mean they don't love their husbands.
Nobody said that one now, Mary.
No, because it's genuine now. You just hear one uncle say, the other day when oil was splashing, you even told me, Kilode to Shembe Rubai, stand there. Please.
But it's amazing what women do in the kitchen that men just probably would never even think of. You know, like things like picking up the pot with bare hands.
Yeah, you guys do that.
Bare hands. and you're lifting, you know where you're going with it, you're probably using like 2 different spots at the same time, cooking 2 different things with 2 hands. Men just don't multitask like that.
Oh.
So can you do that?
No,
You just
so,
subbed us.
You don't.
Mike
You
is a
don't.
kitchen man.
Mike is a very good cook, and he has something contrary to share.
Where's this mic that's available? Mike,
No, but you cook beans so
Mike.
well.
Mike, the good
You mean
cook,
he
where are
burns
you?
beans?
Because
He
I'm not
doesn't
seeing him.
burn beans.
He burns
Like, I
beans.
can defend Mike when it comes to beans.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
I don't know how you
Okay, but you see, but if it's from what Titi said, women are. I don't want to say built, but they build themselves to multitask.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
multitask.
You learn it.
So because of how
Does
you
this
know,
end in the kitchen?
It
or-
does. It does. Definitely does. I mean, growing up. I mean, you see the ladies. That's why they say we should spend more time teaching the man child.
Yeah.
You know, we spend so much time on the girl child. You should be decent. You should be this. You should be this. You should.
Tell
be
you
this,
what,
you should be
what
the
happened
man
this weekend.
child.
I
Not
met
not
a
as enough.
lady who is bringing up her son gender fluid this weekend in Nigeria.
Okay.
I have never experienced it before, but when I met the kid, I'm like, beautiful girl. So no, it's a boy.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Wow.
okay.
Oh, you know what? Can we just pause on that thought?
see,
Let's
you know something,
Switch
eh?
that thought.
It's not even about thoughts. These things are a reality for some people.
Yes, they are.
The truth is this. We dress many girls like boys, and we
But
think
not
it's
the boys
cool.
like girls.
But when the boys are like, oh, I like that dress, so I want to wear a wig, you
Yeah.
start being like, you know, she boy. But we have a Denrele who is making a fortune for himself just doing that. And it doesn't mean that he's, you know, homosexual or stuff.
Yeah.
So some people actually do like cross-dressing. Like, but I don't want to change my sex. It's just the way I am. And then for goodness sake, life made things the way they are now. Heels were originally made for men.
That's actually
Now,
a very interesting fact.
heels were originally
Way
made
back
for
in the
men.
day.
They weren't made for women.
Yeah.
But these days, if you see a man wearing heels, you go, what's wrong with this one? This is that. There's a guy who dances on heels, and people look at him like he's, you know, homosexual or something just because he dances on heels. But heels were made for men. Pink used to be a male color.
I was just going to say that the only reason why pink is now a girl's color was because I can't remember the Queen of England.
Yeah.
She was preparing to have a boy child, a girl child. I can't remember which one, but she had the opposite.
Yeah.
And then she just decreed that, you know what, from now on, blue for boys,
And
pink for girls. It was supposed to be the
And
other
that
way
was a
around.
royal decree.
Boys
changed
used to be
everything.
boys used to be pink, girls
Blue.
mostly blue.
So one thing I will say is that, you know, even up to skirts were actually made
A
for
male
men.
thing, even in Scotland.
Yeah.
It's still a Scottish thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, still
And they still wear. So I also like to look at fashion trends. Fashion trends change every year to year. There was a time where being clean shaven was a sign of being effeminate.
Yeah.
You know, but as in if a man didn't have a beard, he wasn't masculine enough. There's
Madina
so
is thinking
many.
of buying bed oil.
I'm just thinking about.
I've
Did you really just touch your
I've
beard?
tried. It
Mirror
doesn't
cells.
work.
That's what I'm
No. It doesn't work for me. I tried. This is 6 months old.
Just let it go.
It
Wait,
doesn't
what
work.
is 6 months
This.
old? We are
This
looking
beard.
for
I know you need a microscope to see. It doesn't. I'm just not blessed with under hair.
It
at
happens,
all.
yeah, that is
but one
just-
thing I can boast
What are you
of.
feeling like?
No,
Luxurious
see, look,
birds.
No, it's not really. You know, there are some things that happen with our body features that we just can't control. For everywhere, from the female anatomy, the male anatomy, there's some things that you just came with like that. That's how it is. But of course, I mean, due to recent advancements in technology, there's a lot that you can do with your body.
Yes.
I mean, now ladies doing lipo is like nothing now.
Yeah.
It's very, very normal. So you hear a lady and she's like, oh, you have a wonderful posterior protrusion. and then you go, and then she's like, at this time they are not scared to talk about it, which is good. Which is good. I mean, why do you use cream?
Same
Body
thing.
cream.
Exactly.
Why do you use
Makeup.
Just wanna
cream?
look
Why
good.
do you use yeah?
Eyelashes.
No, that's what it
No, eyelashes.
Want to fly.
even eyebrows
So-
are being tattooed on.
Exactly.
these days.
I want to
So
play a
many different
game
things.
now.
Exactly.
We're talking about fashion. How did we get here?
So
How did we get here?
yeah, it's called
somebody.
a segue. But
This is the
reason
most
why-
amazing segue we've had.
The reason why I'm saying it's a segue is because there's probably some young people watching, and they're probably thinking, you know, there's some outfits they would like to try on. There's some new fashion trends that exist today. By the time they get to an age where they can buy and purchase their own clothes, things might have changed.
Yes.
They might have completely changed. So even this issue of posterior protrusions you're talking about, it might be invoked to have no protrusion at all.
There was a time when what was in vogue was the slimmer you are, the better. Now everybody
Can
is
I make a
okay.
suggestion?
I just remember when a girl with the big
I would like to make a
posterior-
suggestion for tomorrow's show.
Okay.
Can we each bring a picture from 10 years ago for tomorrow's show?
Mary left the group.
No, seriously, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You'd see how different we look, how different our fashion sense were from before. I think we should do
I
it.
want pictures of posterior protrusions and anterior
From
protrusions.
10 years ago.
Mike is attacking me.
Okay.
So we're going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow.
It's possible. It's possible.
I say we do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's do it.
But really, just try and feel comfortable with who you are.
Yes,
exactly.
Self-love is very, very important.
Yeah.
Don't think about what other people are going to say. Just do you.
If you have money, go and do the operation.
You're beautiful the way.
Welcome back, second hour. Now, one thing is certain every single day of the week, and that is waking up to these awesome personalities here on TV.
Yes. And for the rest of the week, you should make it a routine to tune in to Wake Up Nigeria from 6 a.m. to start your day the right way.
Yes, indeed. Now, we will be here early every day to give you nothing but the very best. And there's no doubt that, hey, you guys, you're deserving of it.
Yeah.
Do remember now, this experience is for you. We like to serve it to you each day on a silver platter.
And we still have a great lineup for you for the next 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, you bet. Now, so welcome to the second hour of the show. And this comes with a splash of sunshine. My name is Mazina Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. We're streaming this show live at tvcentertainment.tv and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can always connect with us and send in comments. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC every time you post.
By the way, we have an app. So it's available for download. It's free of charge on both Android and iOS store. The app allows you to watch us from anywhere you might be in the world.
Yes, sir.
We also want to remind you once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel, tvcentertainment.tv.
Yes, sir. Now, when it comes to YouTube, all those posts, there's like loads of those posts right there for you in case you miss anything. And you might miss out on the morning show on Friday, but by 2:30 p.m., you'll get the chance to catch up with us again on Instagram Live. That's on Wake Up Nigeria Extra.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Now, we're supposed to have a chef in the kitchen today. Chef hasn't arrived yet, but, oh, sorry, she has. I'm sorry. I didn't see her. I didn't see her
Chef
there.
Tony
Go through that door.
Mike, I didn't see her.
Yeah, Chef Tony is in the house. Hello, Tony. How are you doing?
Very fine, thank you.
Good morning. It's been a while, but you're back. So we're getting ready for something super duper this morning, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. So just stay tuned to the kitchen today. It's going to be fantabulous.
In today's day and age, I
It's-
wonder about that
It's all done over Instagram.
now. It's
Slide into
on-
the DM.
and what's
then
up?
everything
Mike, is
continues.
that true? Or I
Mike
feel
should
very-
know he's not yet
I-
married.
Sorry, you know it was a jab. You know it's all love. You know it's all love.
Okay, asking about.
Yeah.
Also, you know, growing up while in school, we used to talk to our friends, female friends, our lady, and when you say female that's not too, maybe she's not too happy or something, like, when last were you toasted?
Wow.
Because I feel like for a lady, compliment and toasting is it helps with self-esteem.
Oh, really?
I mean, when ladies feel they start getting old when they stop hearing those whispers or those whistles or those "Hey, fine girl" outside. It happens. What is really? You would say it.
Let me use this opportunity to say you look fantastic.
Thank
today.
you. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you.
Okay,
But
so
the truth of the matter
Yeah.
is,
So-
is this. This thing you just said just reminded me of a weird dream I had last night.
Okay.
So Titi was in that dream.
Hey, Mary.
It was a dream that
Yeah, dream of
it
Titi.
didn't have beginning, it did not have end. So
Wow.
you and I were coming to work. We were picked up by the driver, and then the car broke down.
Hey.
And somehow she and I went to a nearby hotel, and we slept off. I don't know what happened.
Mary.
That was part one. While I was still trying to understand,
sure it
that,
was me?
I just saw myself at night walking home, and then I saw in front of me, you know, all these louds. And as I saw the guy, I was like, "Hey, they'll collect my money." They'll collect. Next thing, I just whipped out my phone, and in the dream, I started going, "Woman, mess, and then I passed the guy.
I'm
and
as confused as Mary is confused with the dream
he
also.
want me to-
That's how dreams are.
So when you were talking about the toast, I
no,
was
my dreams are lucid. They're clear. Like if I tell you my dreams, they're very clear. I don't know.
it was a really
If I ran into you at 6 foot what now, I think you're an intimidating person already, so I wouldn't mess with
That's
you.
why nobody ever toasts me. They are afraid.
They
Most-
don't?
Do you know? Most guys that come
We'll continue with this, Mary. We'll continue with this. But
Mazino, I
Ibrahim,
think you might
Ibrahim
want
is
to
on
do the honors,
standby
right?
for the news now.
Remind her what it was like, but news has to happen right now.
Nobody ever toasted you, Mary. It's very fantastic. The leadership of oil workers in Nigeria says its members will not be shutting down activities in the industry this midnight again. This follows the intervention of the Ministers of Finance and Labour along with the Minister of State Petroleum Resources. A closed-door meeting has been slated for 11 a.m. between the federal government team and the leadership of Newpeng and Pengerson at the finance headquarters in Abuja on Monday. One of the national leaders of the union says members will be appropriately directed after the meeting. TVC News will be tracking this story as it unfolds. Investigation into the recent allegation of some airport officials in Abuja who collected money from returning passengers on evacuation flights has commenced. This development was confirmed by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, which advises passengers to report any official from any agency that requests money under any guise. The spokesperson of the agency, Narrator Yakubu, says there is no aspect of its services at the airport that is being paid for by cash. According to her, arriving passengers are expected to have conducted COVID-19 tests before boarding their flights, and with this, they should not pay any money to any airport official. Another set of Nigerian girls have been evacuated from Lebanon after a viral video showing them pleading for to the federal government to facilitate their return. According to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the 68 girls arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja via Middle East airline. The agency thanked the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, the Nigerian mission in the country, and the Lebanese community for making the evacuation possible. The girls will proceed on a 14-day isolation as mandated by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. As part of preparations towards the upcoming elections in Edo and Ondo states, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered commissioners in all states and the Federal Capital Territory to identify and arrest any individual or groups in possession of prohibited firearms. In a statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer, Frank Mba, he says the move is necessary due to the deliberate arming and movement of political thugs and other criminal elements across the country. Commissioners of police have also been directed to convene an enlightenment meeting of all vigilance groups and security outfits to ensure that their activities conform with laws guiding their establishment and operations. Meanwhile, in Oyo State, the suspected mastermind of the recent killings in Akinyele local government areas escaped from police custody. This development comes after the 19-year-old boy and two others were arrested and paraded on the 17th of July. In a press statement, the Commissioner of Police, Joe Nwowu, warns against jungle justice if any resident comes into contact with the suspect. He assures that adequate security measures have been put in place to keep the peace, asking criminal elements to steer clear of Oyo State. The Kano State Police Command has rescued another man imprisoned by his parents for 15 years in Sheka Ungwa Fulani of Kumbutsu local government area. The 35-year-old victim, Ibrahim Lawan, was rescued by the police medical team and operatives of Operation Puff Ada. Police Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Kiyawa, who confirmed the incident to TVC News, says Mr. Lawan has been moved to a medical facility in Kano State. This rescue operation comes just 2 days after a 30-year-old man, Ahmed Aminu, was set free from confinement by the police. The police say the investigation has been launched and more details will be reviewed as soon as it emerges. And that's the news update for this hour.
And you're welcome back. It's Wake Up Nigeria. Mazino and Titi here for you. Let's do the papers this morning, shall we, Titi?
Yes, I have the Nation newspaper here with me. It starts with this headline: governors, lawmakers, others share 774,000 jobs. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 5. Ministers, religious institutions, transport workers, women's societies, CSOs get slots. And October takeoff on course. That's 1,000 jobs per local government, it says. Allocation formula is governors 40 slots per local government, senators 30 slots per local government, reps 25 slots per local government, and ministers 30 slots per local government. Let's hope the formula works. Okay. CBN stress test clears banks. Worship centers observe protocols in Ogun and Ekiti. Right at the top, rains to pound Lagos next month. Government seeks cooperation. Meanwhile, Mimiko, Akeredolu row over Ajayi. ZLP picks running mate. Killer suspect escapes from police custody. Manhunt begins. And finally, wet season farming. Nizral to lift 44,670 farmers. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Very worried about next month and the rains that are coming. The Punch newspaper now, ladies and gentlemen. COVID-19 fear, mixed reactions persist. Concern eases as WASC begins today. Parents lament additional financial burden. Coronavirus changes. Provide PPE for yourselves if government fails, NUT tells teachers. The photo story here, a cross-section of Christ Apostolic Church Chapel of Glory members as they observe protocols for COVID-19, adhering to all protocols there. And of course, at the bottom of the page, hoodlums defy Amotekun, abduct 2 men in Ondo. Police nab 7 for cloning SIM cards to empty deceased accounts. And police declare manhunt as detained Oyo serial killer escapes. And that's it for the Punch newspaper. Grab a copy and you'll find more stories inside. What do you have?
I have the Guardian newspaper with me. It says, Nigeria in tough policy options over recession. Economy caves in as COVID-19 reveals old landmines. Labour, NECA, others fault unemployment report. Spend out stagnation, economists advise government. We must avoid looming depression. Meanwhile, fresh concerns over NDDC crisis, planned 24 billion naira road inauguration by Buhari. Unions threaten showdown over proposed airport concession. How oil theft fuels proliferation in arms in Niger Delta by report. And calls for Lekwat's execution will set Nigeria ablaze. They can. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Moving on now to the Vanguard newspaper for a Monday start of the week. Equity falls as investors opt for mutual funds. Value of mutual funds up 107%. Losses in equity now 946 billion naira. A bit about the COVID-19 news. Grants businesses, individuals task relief get $2.5 million. NGF World Bank tells states. And Southern Kaduna, I'm not afraid of death, says Lekwat. Change approach. Archbishop Kaigama urges FG. Buhari yet to tackle insecurity in Northeast, says Borno Royal Father. Gunmen attack Yobe community, abduct village head and son. Soldiers who criticized Buratai faces court-martial in Sokoto. And on now to Edo Undo. IGP orders mop-up of illegal firearms. Tasks commissioners of police to arrest persons with prohibited firearms. IGP's order came too late, security experts say, and we won't tolerate lawlessness in Edo, Obaseki says. And more. To the side of the paper there, Shippers Council firm clash over 400% rise in charges. Now that's a lot. And lawyers rail against new NBC code as SARP asks Buhari to withdraw it. And plenty more inside the paper. At the top there, presidency stakeholders disagree on Apapa gridlock. Please, can we get to some agreement on that one, because it is ruining lives, businesses, and plenty more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also would like to have a look at that NBC code, the updated one.
Plenty of talk about it during the weekend, about the author who authored it currently, and the talk from the 5 million naira fine that was given to the radio station last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a lot happening there. Let's see if we can take the Daily Sun quickly. It says, insecurity, IGP orders CPs to mop illegal weapons. directs Edo Undu commands to crack down on thugs. Oyo CP confirms escape of prime suspect of Ibadan ritual killings from custody. Goodness me. It also says here, IPOB, peace deal with Ohaneze intact. Photo stories there, another set of Nigerian girls from Lebanon on arrival from or at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, yesterday. And 296 evacuees from the UK via Air Peace flight on arrival at the same airport yesterday, also in a smaller photo story. Backing Igbo to produce next president will right past wrongs, according to Fani Kayode. And I'll wrap with this. Banks lending to oil and gas industry suffers $3 billion decline. Page 25 has more on that. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
Alrighty, this day newspaper might be the last one. Big headline here, arming regional security outfits, vigilantes, inimical to national safety, IG warns, orders clamp down on prohibited firearms, groups rally support for Naaba over DS's invitation. And Unilag Council gives details of Ogundikpe's alleged financial misdemeanor. This is going to carry on through the week, I bet. Amended Universities Act grants council power to remove Vice-Chancellor. And there's a quick look at the weather today on this day newspaper. We are expecting some rains, as we can see, in Abuja, Maiduguri, Enugu, Kano, and Lagos as well. And states of tax relief to individuals and businesses. Find that story inside of page 8 of this day newspaper. Titi, I dare say, that's all we can do for now.
Yeah, we have to rush over to the garden.
Thank you for staying with us. And I am here in the kitchen with Chef Tolu this morning. Chef Tolu is always on point, giving us wonderful cuisine. Where are we going to this morning? What are we doing this morning?
Okay, this morning we're making chicken vegetable shawarma.
Chicken vegetable shawarma.
Yeah.
I'm going to break my fast today.
You
Wonderful.
should.
And what are we working with?
Okay, we're working with, since we said chicken, so definitely our chicken is here.
That is chicken, eh?
Yes.
Okay,
it
they
is.
need to see it now. Of course, these are the ingredients, so let's go over them. That's our chicken there. It's looking very, very... What part of chicken is that?
Chicken breast.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So there's no bone or nothing.
Yes, you want it boneless.
Looking very nice. And of course, that's sausage by the side.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so of course, that's the list that you can see there. We also have carrot here. There's yogurt, ketchup, cabbage, tomatoes, mayonnaise, onions. We have lemon.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's lettuce, then of course the chicken which you saw, sausages and seasoning. So this is all what that list you just saw. Everything is here. Tomatoes, that's wonderful, lovely. We have our carrot for the coleslaw, right?
Yes.
Best sous chef ever. And then what's this? What's this mix here?
Okay, the mix here is the yogurt, the mayonnaise, and the ketchup.
The yogurt, mayonnaise, and the ketchup, right?
Yes.
Okay, they are all in one, eh?
Yes.
This is
I
going
have
to be
put it
lovely,
together.
okay? And then, of course, we have our spices here. Can you
Yes.
break down
Okay,
the spices
here.
for us?
Yeah, have white pepper. You can use black pepper.
There's white
anyone.
pepper?
Yes, there
Whoa,
is.
we learn.
Yes. And this is suya spice. I use it for the chicken. It gives it extra flavor.
Okay.
Then curry, then chili, makes it a little bit spicy.
AKA red pepper, that's red pepper, right?
No, not red pepper.
It's red now. There's white pepper, this is red pepper now. And there's also black pepper now.
Yes, what is this chili pepper?
Chili pepper, it's red now, is it?
Okay, yes, it's red.
Then
salt.
salt,
and
right?
then seasoning.
Okay, so you were cutting, so while we go ahead
Cabbage.
with that, let me get this ready.
Yes.
Okay,
and
I might need
just-
some help here. Okay,
I
let's see.
really do.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. And this is on.
We need to talk about the wrap.
Okay, yes, the wrap. What's a tortilla? Is that what it's
Yes,
called?
tortillas.
Oh man, like I'm on
you're
point this morning.
good.
The tortilla wraps, right? How many wraps do we have here?
We have about 5 wraps.
5 wraps. Okay, so is it 1 wrap per shawarma or 2 wraps per shawarma?
I don't understand.
How many wraps in one shawarma?
Yes,
Use 2 wraps for one
definitely.
shawarma.
You know, just one like this.
Just one like this, okay, because I was wondering that Mazino was not going to take breakfast this morning, because if it was just 2 wraps.
No.
That's for me, myself, and I. We are 3 already, so there's going to be a problem, okay? So, but then let's get this ready. Okay, I think we have, okay. While we get this ready. Okay, so that's for the you're grating the
yes, I
carrot
am.
there. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about your journey into cooking. How did cooking start for you?
Well, I'd always had passion for cooking all along, and so I was working, and then I had issues with work and all that. I had to stop work.
Okay.
So it actually made me, go into. So I went to a culinary school.
All right.
And I had this mentor that, really, really inspired me and made me see more than, because while going into cooking, the culinary school, I felt like it was just the usual jollof rice, fried rice, and all that, catering. But then I saw more.
You saw more, yeah?
When I got to culinary school, and I realized that cooking is more than just being in the kitchen.
Just being in the kitchen.
It brings out creativity. It brings out every part of you, even heart, even,
Wonderful.
I feel it's a means of communication for me.
That's deep, because I know some people tell you that, look, for you to get some recipes right, you have to put your heart into it.
Yes.
And that's the final ingredient. They tell you.
Of
I know.
course.
SpongeBob comes to mind now.
Obviously, it makes the difference.
It does, eh?
Yeah.
I have very much of heart, but I don't have so much of cooking, so I don't know how my food would taste with just heart and not cooking. But then wonderful. And so, has the journey so far?
Yeah.
Has it been financially viable?
It's been.
It pays the bills, right?
Yes, because
Wonderful.
it just pays. I don't really know.
How do we hit you up on social media? What's your handle? Do you do home delivery or something?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so how do we hit you up on social media?
Okay, my Instagram handle is chef_T.
Okay.
And underscore. That's my
Chef
handle.
underscore T underscore.
Yeah.
So actually what happened was that Tolu tried to get Chef T. Chef T was not available.
Obviously.
Now said Chef_T was not available. Now said Chef_T_, it was not available. Now went to 3 underscores.
Really? That's not fair.
So it's Chef_T_.
Oh my God, now you made me feel bad.
No, now, bad for what?
Well, you just did.
You have to feel good. Okay, this thing. Okay, all right. So while she's getting the onions ready, we're getting these onions. There's onions also. Wonderful.
Yeah.
This is going to be a wonderful meal we're putting together. We'll get to show you the progress of what we're doing. But let's take a look.
And you're welcome back. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and it is time for some motivation. And today we have been joined by Fola Daniel Adelesi, an inspirational speaker who's he's a trained communication expert, and he's also a renowned author with more than 5 published books and a quintessential public speaker who speaks professionally and trains effectively. He'll be talking to us about environmental limitations. Welcome to the show, Fola Daniels. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And today's topic is one that I'm looking forward to, environmental limitations. First off, let's start by explaining to people what environmental limitations are and how they affect us, our confidence in what we're putting out there. Fola.
Awesome. Now, let me start by introducing to you the story of a pastor who said that several years ago he traveled abroad. And when he was traveling abroad, he went with an electric iron. And the reason he went with an electric iron all the way from Nigeria to the United States is because he was trying to be prepared just in case NEPA struck. And as soon as he got to his country, he put out all his clothes and started ironing one by one. So his host went to him and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm trying to get all my clothes ready just in case NEPA strikes." And the guy said to him, "Oh, but that never happens here. There'll never be power cuts." And he said, "What are you talking about? What do you mean light never goes? How can you tell me light never goes?" And he was just getting ready. And the guy told him, "Look, you don't have to worry. If you're going out here, you can iron your clothes just a few minutes to going out." The guy was arguing until a few days later, and he realized it's true that there was no power cut at all. Now, what affected him prior to that trip was environmental limitation. He thought that what was happening in Nigeria was a global thing. And it's the same thing that we're trying to tell people. Sometimes, if you don't go outside of your vicinity, if you don't go outside of your environment, you will think that what is happening in your environment is a global phenomenon. the way we are being led in this country, if you don't go outside of this country, you think that that's the way we're being led all over the world. If you look at your environment and you've never traveled before, you will think that's just the way things are. Environmental limitations will, limit your mind. You would not know what you can do as an individual. It puts a cap, it puts a lid on your capacity, on your ability, on the possibility of success for you. So you must pay attention to the fact that you can be really big, but an environment. And another proof of environmental limitation is a whale. I've read that if you put a whale inside an aquarium, it probably wouldn't go past 6 inches or something like that. But if you throw the same whale into an ocean, it's going to grow as big as 20 feet. That's to tell you that the whale has the capacity to grow, but the environment in which it finds itself can limit that growth. And that's exactly what happens to individuals, particularly what happens in our minds. The environment limits our minds and consequently limits our
Very
reality.
interesting. Very interesting. Now, you speaking of this exposure and how not having such an exposure can limit our capacity. However, this
Exactly.
exposure is also not very cheap for La Daniels, if you know what I mean. You're talking
Okay,
about the
it
fact
has
that
become cheap these days.
Has it? Please
It has
explain
become
how.
cheap. Take, for example, in the days when we were growing up, you and I grew up at a time when children didn't have mobile phones.
True.
But today you can have a 5-year-old who has a smartphone. We grew up in the days when you had to physically visit an airport to see an airplane take off.
Yeah.
But these days, I mean, going to the airport was an excursion for us in our younger days. But these days, you can watch everything from a smart device. You
True.
can learn from a smart device. You can just have a small device in your hand and you are seeing what goes on all around the world. That's why they said the world has become a global village. And these days, it's not a global village, it's a global room now. With the introduction of video conferencing and stuff like that, you can learn, you can expose yourself to what's going on globally. In those days, there were not too many people who even had cable TV.
Yeah, true.
The few people who had TV, we were stuck with local television stations who were probably feeding us with wrong information or redacted information. So the exposure at the time was limited because of limited information. But today, almost everybody can afford cable TV. It's become very cheap. So when we talk about the exposure, the first phase of the exposure is not really about leaving Nigeria. It's about the kind of information that you expose yourself to these days. When
Okay.
you now have the money, it's important to go outside of the shores of this country
True.
and experience what we're talking about. Because that experience and exposure does almost something that you can't retrace, something that you can't roll back. That's what it does to your mind.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
like the rubber stretching. When the rubber stretches, it doesn't go back to its original size. So yes, the exposure has become cheaper these days,
Okay,
and we all
so
need it.
where do you stand when it comes to limitations placed on us based on our culture? At the risk of losing these cultures, what do you say to this?
Now, the first thing I need to say to the custodians of the culture, who are mostly the elders in the society, is that things are changing and at a very fast pace. And if we're going to become a developed nation, there are some parts of the culture that we can hold on to. There are some parts of the culture that we just need to modify. There are some parts of the culture that we can keep just as they are. The important word is flexibility, because the world is being mixed right now. We are no longer a segregated culture. We're not separated from the rest of the world. And if we're going to move forward, if we're going to advance, we need to change. And the change is being forced on us, whether we like it or not,
True.
because of the introduction of technology, because of the introduction of people are traveling faster all over the world these days, and you just never can tell where you're going to find yourself tomorrow. And studying abroad is now a lot easier if you're doing it online and stuff like that. So we need to adapt, and if we don't adapt, we will not move. Now, that's one of the issues with environmental limitation. We all grew up in a society where you are told exactly how to do things.
Yeah.
The men are expected to do things in a certain way. The women are expected to do things in a certain way. If you do things and you don't challenge elders in this environment.
Yeah.
And one of the problems with that is that we have taken that not being able to challenge elders into our academic institutions.
Not just
If you
academic
had the
institutions, into our political system, everything. It's like
exactly. So if you
trapped in a rut.
if you had the great displeasure of studying in a typical Nigerian university, you will know that it's a disaster not to be able to challenge authority.
Okay.
It's a huge disaster, and it's because of environmental limitations. That's why you see Nigerians go abroad and they're able to perform better than their contemporaries. I was just reading a report last night from a white lady who said that Nigerians are not only the most educated immigrants, they're also the highest earning immigrants in the United States.
True.
One of the things accountable for that, or one of the things you can trace to that, is the fact that in this part of the world, we study a lot, but we only study and keep to ourselves.
Very true.
We don't challenge the people who are giving us the information.
Very true, Fola Daniels.
We don't challenge the people who are training us. But when you go abroad, you don't just study, you challenge the people. That's why you're writing a thesis.
So
that's
in
why,
a few,
that's why you have workshops.
In a few final words, what would you advise the people listening right now? Just a few words, if they're stuck in such a rut. What's your advice?
Number one thing, don't take everything in your environment as a global perspective. Make sure you check what is going on in other nations. Go online, watch internet. Don't be stuck with African television stations. Don't be stuck with Nigerian television stations. Check out some television stations abroad. And if you have the resources, travel abroad. Sometimes you don't have to go by air. Do a road trip. This will expose your mind. It will show you the possibility of your own capacity. Yes,
well,
you need that
thank you
exposure.
very much, Fola Daniels. That exposure is absolutely necessary. Thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure when we have you in to give us a bit of motivation and all. But for now, I'm very motivated. I want to actually know what's happening in the kitchen. There's Mike in there, and I'm hoping that he does not plan to just have everything to himself when we're done. Mike, how's it going in there?
See where your motivation is ending. That's where my own is starting. Okay? So, but thank you, Mazino there. So, but Chef Tolu has done wonderfully well so far. Everything is now prepared. We marinated this for a short while, right? What did we get into this? This is, I want us to see this. This is lovely. This is the chicken breast that we put here.
Yeah.
And we rounded off with lemon. That should give it some bite.
Yes,
wonderful.
like a sloppy taste.
But I don't want to be slapped when I'm eating shawarma, by the way. So what do we have inside here? What do we put inside here?
Okay, here I have in my seasoning, the seasonings I put here, the soya spice, the white pepper, salt, curry, the chili, and the seasoning cubes.
The seasoning cubes. Okay, so we're going to wrap now, right?
No.
What are we doing now?
I already marinated this, so I'm gonna cook this.
Okay. Okay, so let's go. Let's see what we can do before. And then we also are done with our coleslaw.
Yeah.
It has onions. And we also had the lemon inside the coleslaw. Why did you put it inside here? Why did you put the lemon also? We wanted to go all around to permeate everything.
Yes, and lemon does a lot when it comes to vegetables. It preserves the color, even taste and everything. Then even when you add lemon to cabbage, it takes out that odor, that smell, that cabbage. I think there's this cabbage smell that some people aren't cool with. So it takes out the...
You have the feel of the cabbage without the aroma of the cabbage. Oh, that's something. Lemon. Now that's something for you. Something for the books there. Get lemon. It does help whenever you have to do anything with vegetables. I like that. Okay, so we're getting our oil ready. Okay, this will go in first.
Yes, you just want to add a very little oil.
Okay.
Just to cook it. You don't want it to be too much because chicken on its own brings out.
Wonderful.
Wow.
They were not parboiled, right?
No, they were not. It's a soft chicken.
Okay, so we don't need to cook for too long.
No, it's going to cook properly.
Okay.
On here.
How long would we cook this for?
About 10 minutes.
Wonderful. 10 minutes. That's wonderful. In that 10 minutes, of course, we'll take a break. We'll come back to begin the next segment or the final segment of the show. We'll get back to show you how this all looks at the end. Don't go nowhere. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Hello and welcome to the third hour on Wake Up Nigeria. The first 2 hours of the show sets that benchmark for your brand new week. best way possible.
Yes, it's been a solid 2 hours of premium entertainment. Now the last 45 minutes is equally going to be amazing.
Thank you
we
so
promise.
much.
Yeah.
For starting with us, starting your week with us, starting your day with us, starting your Monday with us. The show gets better every single hour.
Yeah, that's right. Now, we're here to help you overcome that Monday morning blues, that reluctancy. You know, we want to get you off on the right start for the week, you know, with some good motivation and everything. Get you motivated this week, all right?
It's important, really, and that's why we remain your one-stop shop for everything family-oriented. And of course, when it comes to style, haven't you noticed? Didn't you see the plum thing going on?
Well,
we have this plum.
This one?
Yeah, no, that's not the plum thing
okay.
I'm talking about. Please, don't let people start focusing on my own. I'm stuffing my tummy in as I speak.
No, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. You don't look too bad yourself. But it is an effort, and you need to make that effort to stay with us. My name is Titilayo Oniso.
And of course, you know my name already. My name is Mazino Appeal. Do not miss the great experience by streaming live. If you have to leave the house right now, tvcentertainment.tv and also on Facebook at TVC Connect. All right, send in comments. We always love to read from you guys. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, and our kitchen is agog, people. It's agog. Our kitchen is, I don't know, something smells good.
I don't want to be here right now. I want to be at the kitchen.
I can see Mike adjusting his suit to accommodate all the food that's in there. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Woo! Let's do this.
It's all good. So we would like to remind you guys once again to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? tvcentertainment.tv.
Yeah, and you can find all the videos when it comes to our meals that are being prepared in the kitchen as soon as you do. You can also join us on Instagram Live on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. for someone special, someone extra special, joining us for a chat.
Good, so now let's check out what we have left on the show, next 45 minutes, shall we?
We're going to continue with our e-learning series. We need to learn something new every day, don't we? Mercy George Igbafe is going to be talking to us about digital opportunities for employees.
And finally, we will be joined by a lady who explores her storytelling through several mediums of expression: photography, film, television, and stage. Achalugo Chioma Ezekobi for a chat will be joining us in the studio here.
Was that the secret you were trying to keep?
Ah, look, they already done told.
Yeah.
She's a biker.
Friday.
Yeah.
She's a biker.
You did mention
The
it.
biker.
You did mention it. And a female biker would be nice to ride with, you know.
Well, if you're talking about, oh, you're just naughty. I know what he means.
What?
But I admit it's a beautiful view.
No, not the view. You see,
Oh my
on
God,
Express.
you guys.
On Express.
What? Not me.
So wait, you don't want to ride with Mazino? You don't want to ride with Mazino?
Okay, so
If you ride with
we've
Mazino,
we've kind of never talked about this biking thing.
Ride
so I
with
know,
him.
We haven't?
No, we've never really talked about it, like really talked. So
okay.
it's not like I've not been on the back of a bike before, but I actually think if my husband was riding a bike to work every day,
Yeah,
I would
I
be
know.
freaking out.
I know. Okay.
I would be losing my mind.
So,
Every time you hear that vroom, vroom, you're like, hey, Jesus.
now let me explain.
So you tune up the engine at times,
Well,
right?
you can do that to make it louder. And most bikers would actually want a louder bike just so you can hear them coming.
Very
because-
proud people. All
No,
of
no,
you.
no. We're actually invisible out there.
Oh,
People don't see us.
Yeah.
So it's either you have a very loud bike or a very bright bike.
Okay.
I don't like the sound, so I would rather go with a very bright
The
bike.
bright one, right?
So I've got lights all over.
All over.
Regarding how a partner would film, because
Yeah.
you use it on a daily.
Yeah.
First of, I think it's a thing of how principled the user is.
Okay.
It's very unforgiving if you are not very disciplined.
Okay.
So just take note. Don't overdo anything on a bike.
Do you watch motorbike sports?
Oh, absolutely.
So
I saw the
on
one yesterday.
yesterday
Yeah, did you see the crash?
I saw that crash. I was watching
Ooh-wee.
the highlights, man. I saw Divizio. So what's his
Yeah,
name now?
I
He
can't
won.
remember his name because it's an Italian name or something.
Did he survive it?
He did.
It was so, of course, the only way he survived, he was taken to the hospital, but the only way was because of the padding and all of that.
Yeah.
So one had an accident and the bike was in the middle,
Right
and then
smack in
the
the
rest were
middle.
coming. This guy
And he
went in,
split
poop.
that bike in
The
two.
bike split in two.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
I'm
That
telling
was
you,
a terrible day.
the bike split in two.
No, it didn't split. pulverized.
Like,
Boom.
to tell you the full, it was something else, man. In fact, maybe on Friday, one big game, it was something else. It was something else.
Wow.
But it's a joy to watch. The sport is cool.
Yeah,
It's always a joy to
Well,
watch.
we are cool with Okada sitting on
No, not the same thing.
behind a fast bike.
It's
Where
not
you
the
are-
same
Not the
thing.
same thing.
Please don't.
If you know how frightened I am of all these fast bikes,
But you got to take the news down, Mary.
I'll settle with Okada. Thank
right.
you. All right. Okay, let's. Yeah.
Okay,
Ibrahim. I want
Ibrahim, can do it though.
No, let Ibrahim do it.
Ibrahim, you're here.
You don't want his salary to be complete at the end of the month.
I thought that maybe, but no, go ahead with the news now.
I'll rather use my leg rather than ride behind the bike.
I'm telling you.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control reported 298 new cases of coronavirus overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 49,068. Of the new cases, Plateau recorded the highest figure with 108 cases, followed by Kaduna with 49 cases. Other states with high numbers include Lagos with 47, Ogun 18, Osun 17, and the Federal Capital Territory with 15 new cases. So far, 36,497 people have been discharged, while 975 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. The leadership of oil workers in Nigeria says its members will not be shutting down activities in the industry as planned. This follows the intervention of Ministers of Finance and Labour along with the Minister of State Petroleum Resources. A closed-door meeting has been slated for 11 a.m. between the federal government team and the leadership of the New Peng and Pengerson at the finance headquarters in Abuja on Monday. One of the national leaders of the union says members will be appropriately directed after the meeting. TVC News will be tracking the story as soon as they emerge. Investigation into the recent allegation of some airport officials in Abuja who collected money from returning passengers an evacuation flight has commenced. This development was confirmed by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, which advises passengers to report any official from any agency that requests money under any guise. A spokesperson of the agency, Narrator Yakubu, says there is no aspect of its services at the airport that is being paid for by cash. According to her, arriving passengers are expected to have conducted COVID-19 tests before boarding their flight, and with this, they should not pay any money to any airport official. Another set of Nigerian girls have been evacuated from Lebanon after a viral video showing them pleading for the federal government to facilitate their return. According to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the 68 girls arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja via Middle East Airline. The agency thanked the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, the Nigerian mission in that country, and the Lebanese community for making the evacuation possible. The girls will proceed on a 14-day isolation as mandated by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. In Oyo State, the suspected mastermind of recent killings in Akinyele local government area has escaped from police custody. This development comes after the 19-year-old and two others were arrested and paraded on the 17th of July. In a press statement, the Commissioner of Police, Joe Nwowu, warns against jungle justice if any resident comes into contact with the suspect. He assures that adequate security measures have been put in place to keep the peace, asking criminal elements to steer clear of Oyo State. And the Kano State Police Command has rescued another man imprisoned by his parent for 15 years in Sheka Ongua Fulani of Kumbutso local government area. The 35-year-old victim, Ibrahim Lawan, was rescued by the police medical team and operatives of Operation Puff Ada. Police Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Kiyawa, who confirmed the incident to TVC News, says Mr. Lawan has been moved to a medical facility in Kano State. This rescue operation comes just 2 days after a 30-year-old man, Ahmed Aminu, was set free from confinement by the police. The police say investigation has been launched and more details will be reviewed as soon as it's completed. And outside Nigeria, Somali Special Forces say they have ended a siege at a hotel in the capital Mogadishu that was stormed by the armed men Al-Shabaab militants. Security forces had sealed off the hotel and exchanged gunfire with the gunmen inside. A government spokesman said at least 11 people were killed at the beachside hotel, in addition to 5 militants. The attackers detonated a car bomb outside the hotel on Sunday before storming it and seizing hostages. More than 200 people were rescued from the hotel. And that's the news today on Wake Up Nigeria. Next is sports with
Series on Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, you know by now, we all know the importance of utilizing electronic technologies to access educational curriculum outside of a traditional classroom. And to do justice to this is Mercy George Igbafe, digital expert and strategist in Agile Scrum digital marketing, a woman who is passionate about supporting Nigerians and African leaders to leverage on digital technology. Mercy will be sharing some digital career opportunities for employees, and I can imagine so many people are interested in it. How are you doing today, Mercy?
Hi, good morning.
Good
Hope you're keeping
morning.
safe.
Good morning. Great to have you on
How
the
are
show.
you?
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, you know, when we talk about career opportunities, for years there have been this streamlined way of looking for a career, so to speak. And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 came and almost everything has been turned upside down. For an employee looking to advance, what opportunities would you say there are for an average employee?
There's so many opportunities. First, I just want to say thank you to TVC for giving me the opportunity and the platform to always come and share my expertise with the world. It's something I hold dearly and I'm very grateful for. But very quickly, I just want to say that in the US, over 40 million jobs has been lost, okay? And in the UK, about 20 to 25 million as well, based on statistics that was released in May. Now, in Africa, we already know. If you don't know, I'm sure people close to me have lost their jobs. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So I had a 5 days career training in business analysis, project management, data, that's power, business intelligence, and GDPR, so that people can get exposure to what the world needs. Many employees are cone-shaped, like I-shaped like this employee, but you need to be a comb-shaped employee that understand all of the things that the West is looking for. For instance, Google, they're not working from the office. So there's a massive recruitment on people that are digitally capable with competence to be able to do the job. I'll just share insight very quickly from the last training that I had, and which now has birthed the 3-month course that is currently running with Lento, that they are learning Power BI, that's how to be able to translate data and digital technology. So many people that lost their job is because they don't have the digital competence for them to be able to scale those jobs. So, and it's very important for you to succeed in today's world that we are, being based on the digital transformation that is happening to a lot of businesses. People are working from home. But if you're, as a receptionist, your job is really on the line, you've been an accountant, a lot of people are doing their accounting work. For me as a startup, all my accounting, I can see my dashboard without anybody doing a razzmatazz on Excel, because there are tools that are there for me to be able to use. So it's important that our people start thinking how to upskill. It's not only entertainment that sells. And the beauty is Nigerians are very intrigued about learning. They are very fascinated about learning. They want to learn, they want to upskill. But at the end of the day, what are we learning is the big question. I mean, I did a data pool in just 1 week. This data that I'm showing to you, you can see here, it was generated in 3 days. In 3 days, I got this information. As you can see here, 130 something minus the people that actually signed up for the course as well. So you can see the top skills that a lot of them wanted to learn based on the screen that I'm sharing. I hope you can see my screen. Based on the insight they wanted to learn from here. Many of them wanted to learn digital marketing. And the second one that was top leading is business analysis. So it's very key that in today's world that we are in, that people know how to be able to navigate this water, because business as usual is out of the window, unfortunately.
I
So
actually totally agree with you. It's really important for people to be able to learn these things, which is why it's also important for us to educate them on the opportunities that actually do exist.
yeah.
What opportunities exactly are in existence?
Right now, people are the number one, based on Google Insight that I actually searched for recently, number one job that is actually ranking as at today, because everybody's creating product, everybody's creating project. So they need project managers. They need business analysts to be able to translate business requirement to technical requirement, so that at the end of the day, those products go out shippable on time using the agile framework. Is it Scrum? Is it Kanban that the team is going to be able to work? So the top jobs that are hot in demand as I speak to you right now, business analysis is one of them.
Business
And
analysis.
now business analysis is number one. Business intelligence is number two,
Wow.
because you cannot do anything without being informed with data. You need data. There is no other way that you can succeed in today's world without data. Data is key. So every organization that wants to thrive in today's world needs to understand how to use data, how to interpret data. And you need people that have the technical skills, that understand what it means to analyze those data. So without you having the knowledge of how to interpret data, you're going to struggle. So you need courses like this. Like I told you, that was the data that I gathered in 2 days. This was overall data that I gathered in 1 week. And you can see where their focus is. This is what they want to go. Many of them want to become agile scrum masters. The top one, which is 25%, is still digital marketing, but 27% is data sciences. People want to understand how to leverage the power of data to make informed decisions. So for me as a business, I work with data. The only reason I can help people right now, based on the people that have signed up, which I'm so grateful for, and they are blown away by the level of learning. One of them said to me, Mercy, I've done training, but this one, I've not paid for what I'm supposed to be getting. You're giving it to us for free because they are learning business intelligence, Power BI, be able to translate data, help organizations to harness their data, mine the data, let those data give informed decision. It's a skill, and it's not something that you can learn on Google. You need the hands-on practical experience to be able to expedite the scale at which you're going to be able to move within the tech space today.
Now,
And that's one of
Mercy,
the things that led to the COVID.
obviously, from what you've been able to describe, data is actually very important now. It forms the basis of most digital career opportunities. Besides data, because of course we're talking digital, are there other things, are there other opportunities for employees? Because not everybody likes numbers, so to speak, and not everybody likes the whole digital thing. But are there ways that even those with the barest of interest can make the most of this?
Now, let me say this, like I told on one of your shows, I said to everybody that I got into this space in 2018. Back in the days that you have to be coding and be calculating, business intelligence is about drag and drop. It's so seamless. You don't even need to, it's you being creative with the data set that you have. But there are skills that you can learn readily available, that is digital marketing. Okay? How do you help organization position online for them to be able to translate their product and be able to have conversion? But you know, today, in quote, everybody's a digital marketer. I did my digital marketing training with Digital Marketing Institute in Ireland. It took me a year. You understand?
Yeah.
It's not a short course that you go and do breeze. A lot of us want shortcut. Unfortunately, shortcut does not help. You need to learn the right skill. And one of the things that Lentor.org is offering, Lentor.ng is offering you, is opportunity to learn hands-on so that I can scale in today's world.
Fantastic.
You know?
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for your time, Mercy. Really interesting. We've been able to learn quite a number of stuff. However, we just have to say a very big thank you to you. Have a great week. All right, and from there we move to the kitchen where Mike has been restless. I know Mike wants to dig into that meal, but Guy, you have to wait till the end of the show.
Who told you I have to wait? Okay, all right. But hey, come on, we want to show you the final process, how the wrapping is done. Chef Tolu has done an amazing job here. We already have 3 wrapped, but hey, come on, Chef Tolu, very fast. Let's go through that process now. So our tortilla wrap goes in first.
Yeah.
And this is our lettuce. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So the lettuce goes in next. Okay. Oh, wow.
Then I put in my chicken.
Okay, and then the chicken breast goes in next. Oh, yep.
Spread it.
That's good. This cooked for about 10 minutes. That's the chicken breast,
the
yeah?
chicken, yeah.
Okay, and then our coleslaw.
Or vegetable, because I have...
we have more than just basic coleslaw in this. We have tomatoes also. We have onions also.
You can add cucumber, anything
Cucumber,
of choice,
right? But we didn't
really.
add cucumber here.
No, I didn't.
Cucumber would have made it very solid. That's wonderful. Okay?
Yes, and then...
all right. All right, and then we have our sausage. Wonderful. This is our paste. Remember, what's this paste made of?
Ketchup, mayonnaise, yogurt.
Mayonnaise, and yogurt.
Yes, then
Yogurt.
the lemon.
There's yogurt, there's lemon. This is really going to be some slap.
Yeah. You really want to have a taste of what it feels
Okay,
like.
wonderful, wonderful. This is Tolu's, Chef Tolu's inspired, what's that? What's the full name now? Chicken... Vegetable shawarma. Okay. I like it when chefs kind of make some neologism with their own signature dish. That's it's always lovely to watch. Okay. Now, whenever shawarma is done, we always get to put it on heat, right? Why do we? Why is that? Why do we put it on heat again?
You want to make it. You want to warm everything up with the inside and the outside.
And the outside.
Then you want it crisp.
Okay,
Like, yes,
you want some crisp. Yeah, that's true. So that's why you have to put it on
the head.
Okay, and let it warm up and all of that. This is lovely.
So,
this is lovely.
And
then it goes into...
So, as an African culture enthusiast, she fuses elements of, the cultures together, and it works for her. Her stage play, My Brother, was second runner-up for ANA 2018 prize for drama, and her novella Boys on Jumping Trousers emerged second runner-up for the Koramo 2018 prize for unpublished fiction. Wow. Very interesting writer she is.
Great. Achalugo also enjoys traveling. She enjoys spending quiet time navigating the ironies of life in Lagos. And her stage play, Daughters of the East, has just been announced as a winner of the 3rd edition of the Beta Playwright Competition. Acha, you are a bundle of talent, and that smile, goodness me. It's great to have you this morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Welcome,
It's
Acha.
good to be here too. Thank you.
So, which one of you are we going to be interviewing? The writer, the biker, the stage playwright? Which one? Because the model,
The novelist,
as in.
it's all there. Just take a little bit of me one by one.
I
and
guess-
everybody will be happy.
I guess that's what we're going to do.
But I have to ask, which one jumps out at you when you wake up in the morning? Who are you as soon as you open your eyes in the morning and you wake up? Who is Achalugo?
And my mommy.
You're a mommy. Oh.
Yeah, you said the first thing that jumps at me, because the
Yes.
first thing that jumps at me when I wake up is my daughter tapping my shoulder and asking for something.
Aww.
You know, I want this, and it's like AMO, So yes. So
All
the
right.
second thing that jumps at me is I immediately think of, what do I want to leave behind today? Do I want to write a story? Do I want to take a photograph? And when I make up my mind, it's either I get onto my laptop or I take my camera and I hit the screen.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so let's talk about your writing then. What kind of a writer are you? Would you say that you are a bit of... I know you have plenty of humor in most of your writings. I mean, we can see that from Mr. Brother and the rest of them. And even from your personality, one can tell how much of a humorous person you are. But do you have any conscious bits that go with your writing? Is your writing affected by what's happening on a national level or even international level, or just a personal one?
My writing is mostly affected. I like to say that I lean more towards culture. I think that culture is a thing that keeps evolving. So who is recording what is moving? Who is recording the difference between what used to be in 1960 and what used to be now? So sometimes, because that's where I like to lean into, I could also use that to address any issue that I think. So for instance, Daughters of the East explores the disenfranchisement of female children from inheriting in Eastern Nigeria. So it was something that I came across a Supreme Court judgment when I was at the law firm. And the irony of it for me was, despite us saying that women have rights to inherit, women can this, women can that, even with a Supreme Court judgment, there are people who will still not obey. So I thought to myself, essentially, if all the rules are there, if we, the individuals, are not choosing to change, then nothing is going to happen. So that was what was in my head when I went to write Daughters of the East. I said, in Daughters of the East, there's going to be a female child who is going to inherit from her father, whether or not his kinsmen like it. So that was the whole point of Daughters of the East.
I want to take it from there because I saw on the Lagos Review that you have quite a lot of strong female characterization in your works, especially in male-dominated areas. Then also you have powerful narrators as well. Do you ever see yourself as the narrator, and how did you develop these amazing female characters?
So yes, I admit that sometimes I see myself as the narrator. I take people who have read my debut novel and know me. Some of them say, Acha, you just wrote an autobiography and you put someone else's name there, you know? So that's it for that. But sometimes I step out of it and I let the character, I just say, you know what, take a little bit of yourself out and let someone else tell the story. As for having strong female characters, I say that I was also considerably shaped by a lot of the literature that I read, and they also had strong female characters. I remember reading Akachi Ezigbo's books when I was growing up. I remember reading Flora Mwapa's books, you know, and I was drawn to, you know, in a time, now things are better, but in a time when, you know, when we were growing up in primary school, we had the debate, the male child versus the female child, which one is better, which one is, you know. So I just thought to myself, it would be good for young girls to grow up reading books where there's strong female characters who are doing things in spite of the odds around them.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I would like to talk about the fun side of you. You as a biker. I know why I became a biker. I love speed, well, initially. And but you're a model. Not very many models would want to put their limbs at risk and be a biker, but you are a biker. So what forced you to do that?
Martin, I haven't modeled professionally.
Well, your Instagram page says otherwise.
Okay, so to be very honest, I grew up, my dad had a bike. I saw my grandma riding one as well. So I like to say that was the first influence for me. And I liked it, that I would be on my dad's back and we'd go around Lagos. So it was that. I don't know if he's happy right now that I took that up from him. But that's that. Secondly, when I made up my mind that I was going to have a bike in this Lagos, that was when, there was a time I lived like 15 minutes from my workplace, but it would take me 2 hours inside this Lagos.
Yeah.
So I said, see, this traffic light, I need a cheat code. I'm not about it.
Yeah.
And I chose to go to a motorcycle riding school, which I think is the first thing anybody that wants to ride should do. So I went to a motorcycle riding school. I got trained, and then I got the bike, and I tried to adhere. It's not I always adhere to the safety rules as much as possible.
Yes, indeed.
So it's been over 4 years now.
Look at that.
We come back.
Look
Our
at that
bodies
bike.
are still intact.
That bike looks sensational, I have to say.
I love your plates, attorney. She's a lawyer. Oh, you are a lawyer. That's why.
Goodness me.
Interesting. That's
So
fantastic.
I have to go there. You know I have to go there. You speak a lot about culture and tradition in your works, and then you have a bike. Isn't there that rebellious side of you that made you, you know, go this way? I have a feeling, I don't know, well, you said some family members already have bikes, but that rebellious side to you, can you admit it that is what made you put, you know, all this effort into getting a bike?
see it as rebellious. I just saw it as, you know what, I need to comfortably, or rather, I need to move around Lagos, but not at the expense of my time. So it was just more of, this is what I need. This is what will fix this problem. I didn't see a rebellion to it.
Yeah.
I mean, ask Mazino. So Mazino is the rebel. Mazino will get up and take his bike right out of Lagos, right to other states. I've never done that. I just keep my own.
And you should.
Right?
No.
You and I should do that together.
As they come.
You shouldn't. Please stay in your Lagos.
I would.
Acha,
Stay in your Lagos.
it's great having you on with us today. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Hey, tell you what we should do together. Like I just said, you should go on that trip. You're going to enjoy it absolutely. I promise you. And we look forward to having you in the studio. So do come when we invite you, when this is all over, okay? It's been great talking with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, I love speaking with writers, authors.
She's a very different kind because there's so many personalities to her. She, you know, and her Instagram page, oh, fantastic.
Amazing.
Especially sometimes she puts up these videos she only has on for like a few hours and then she takes them out. That's when you see her real personality.
So there's something that also has a time frame here, and that's this food, because Mike and Mary are eyeing it so intently.
We are not eyeing it, we've eaten it.
Oh,
yes,
why?
so you guys are just having what's like.
Hold up. So now, everybody here knows me. If people say something I don't want you, that you are not supposed to say, it's from here this means. So just don't talk. Maybe do you want to talk?
We have been warned.
Are you threatening us?
We stand
We stand warned.
we stand warned.
Do you understand? You
stand
understand?
warned.
Are we good?
Because of this suit you
Are
wore
we
today,
good?
Mike, we'll leave you.
This one talking too much.
In fact,
Chef Tolu,
talk
can you
to
please
us.
let us know how we came out with this?
Yes, this is the chicken vegetable shawarma.
Wonderful. Just very fast, briefly, how we,
Okay.
we,
Here I have the lettuce, my coleslaw, the tomatoes, onions, sausage, then my chicken and the wraps.
Wonderful. Now, which of these?
Impressed that you had yogurt in that paste.
Yeah.
Yogurt.
that caught his attention. I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's always on point. So, which of them do you want to taste it, or should we give it to to my producer and my director to taste?
Beautiful today, by the way.
We have
Mike, just taste this.
Okay. Wait. You have 20 seconds each to give a pitch for Tolu.
Okay.
Mazino, go first.
I'm very, very, very impressed with how you were able to put this together. And when you walked in here, I was like, wow, who is that?
Okay.
So I've already lost this match because I didn't even see her that time when she was in the kitchen. So I'm not even
You know, this food looks so good. It can only do better in my tummy.
Tolu, who won?
Well, I think
You like fine boys.
You know, if you are not even scared of my height. When I was next to you.
I already lost it.
Thank you, Tolu.
Thank you so
Go ahead.
Thank you, Tolu.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Tolu.
Go ahead.
I think Mazino's show is now Wake Up Nigeria.
No matter what Mazino says,
He
I'll give it to
always
Mazino.
Nice.
All right, wonderful.
So fresh, everything.
Wonderful.
That was
Tolu.
here.
Nice one,
Thank you,
Tolu.
Chef
Tolu, once
Tolu.
again, Instagram. How do we hit you up once again?
yes, my Instagram handle chef_T___.
__. That's all we can take today. Thank you for being a part of the show.
It's been a marvelous Monday. Big shout out to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. And of course, to all of you who tuned in today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Whatever you said. Bye.